Today in this video, we are going to learn how does the electrolyte conduct electricity. So, is the impurity is really responsible for electrical conductivity? So, all this we are going to understand in this video. So, as you know, electrolyte. So, that means a compound that get dissolved in the water and it completely ionized that releases an ions. So, that are responsible for electrical conductivity. How does electrolyte conduct electricity? See children, if you see the diagram, you were able to see and two rod or a plate that are connected to the plus minus symbol. So that rod called as an electrodes. So electrodes is a rod or a plate that connected to the power supply. And these electrodes are dipped inside the electrolytic solution. Clear? So the rod which is connected to one positive terminal, we call them as an anode, positive electrode. The rod that is connected to one negative terminal, we call them as an cathode, negative electrode. And the solution filled in the electrolytic cell, we call them as an electrolyte. So I have explained about an electrolyte already. Now, let us see how does it conduct an electricity. Now the circuit is ready. We are ready with the electrodes and also the electrolyte solution. We need to connect those electrodes with the positive and the negative terminal of the power supply. As soon as when you connect it, what will happen? In the solution, we have a positively charged cation and negatively charged anion. So, as soon as when the current starts flowing, the positively charged cation migrate towards the negative electrode and negatively charged anion move towards the positive electrode. And this causes the electricity to flow through the electrolyte solution. So now we come across with an idea that liquid conduct an electricity. So as I told you, some liquids are good conductor of electricity, whereas some liquids are poor conductor of electricity. So every time in order to check the circuit is conducting or not, we can either use an LED bulb. Okay, if the power supply is very less, go ahead with an LED bulb because that doesn't require that much energy to glow. So it may glow. If you use a bulb instead of an LED bulb, you have to make the circuit, it should be huge enough so that that should provide enough energy or power to a bulb to glow. Okay, or even you can keep a simple magnetic compass. As you know, when the electric current flows in the circuit, there will be a magnetic field around the electric circuit. So if there is a magnetic field, if you keep a magnetic compass near the circuit, if you see the deflection in the compass needle, that means the current is flowing in the circuit. If there is no deflection in the magnetic needle, that means there is no current flows in the circuit. So these are the few simple methods to identify whether the circuit is allowing a current to flow or not. Okay, to test the conductivity. Now the question arises, impurities whether it affect the electrical conductivity. So consider a distilled water which does not allow electricity to pass through it because there is no ions present in it. They are free from the dissolved salt. So hence what we need is we need a impurity. So that impurity when you add it to the distilled water, for example, first you take a distilled water. So that doesn't have any kind of a salt or an ion. So if there is no ion, as you know, it becomes a non-electrolyte. It will not allow electric current to flow through it. So now take half a spoon of NaCl, mix it in the distilled water. Now I added a impurity in the distilled water, right? So now it has become an ion solution, ionization solution. So in such case, when you pass an electricity in that solution, it become a good conductor. So When we add an impurity, it increases the conductivity. When the liquid is very pure, it lowers the conductivity. Video we have learned how does the electrolyte conduct electricity, and also adding impurity will enhance the electrical conductivity. Thank you.